A pretty good footballer, but Hawthorn will certainly be hoping he continues to struggle today. The Hawks taking on Collingwood today, this round 4 match. The Losers certainly in trouble as far as the season is concerned. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the MCG. Collingwood coming out onto the ground, and what a day it's going to be for the Pies, led by Nathan Buckley and Nick Davis. So much focus on him during the week. We wonder how he's going to respond. Joel Smith on Tarrant.
Just seeing a match up at the moment, they're just swapping it now. They had young Green on Josh Fraser, but now Rawlings is going to Fraser, who's starting on the wing.
Well, Joel Smith played on Tarrant in the Wizard Cup match, so he's got the job on him again.
Just so important that Steve McKee, the luxury Collingwood have is McKee can play out of that ruck central post. Josh Fraser can be used in that forward line. Thompson
is the first ruck for Hawthorn at the moment. McKee opposing him. And it's Collingwood going forward just for a moment at least. Green. And the Hawks going forward. Hay playing across centre half back today on Rocker. Crawford. Early start for him. Green. Rawlings, who pushed up the ground after an early touch. Adrian Cox almost. Freeborn. Pressure on Burns. He played very well last week. His best game for a long time for the Pies. But there's Graham. Well up the ground, using Rawlings again, his third touch.
Well done.
Fairview Pies back in defence, trying to make it difficult. Cloak, he slipped over, gets another chance. Nick Davis started in the forward half, but he's already pushed back in defence to maybe give them a runner coming out of defence. Buckley, his first touch. Well, we think Vandenberg's running with him, but there it's getting it up. Rocker versus Hay. Hay wins out again.
So Johnny Hay to take it. Just chips into the middle, Stephen Green.
This is where Collingwood need to be careful. Hawthorn will look for a switch.
Stephen Green pretty much covered forward of the ball here. The Pies doing well, so in the middle of the ground, still at half-back. Hay takes it. Second touch early in the game. Leckus now. All important game for both of these teams. Leckus and Crawford well down the ground.
So just got Crawford 2 dates.
So early touches for some important players. Johnny Hay, Shane Crawford. Just to name a couple. To McCabe, who has a job on Brodie Holland.
Collingwood get numbers back.
So at the moment the Hawks are starting to rake up possessions. 400 in one game last year, early in the year.
Already 11-2 uncontested possessions to Hawthorn.
Just have to watch that. He goes in long. Josh Fraser's there. Couldn't mark it in the end. Loose ball. Players go in. Crowding by the Pies. Do well. Kicked out by Batheris. Towards the boundary. Will it get there? Just may beat Stephen Green. Did well. Being shepherded beautifully from Graham. Goes in short. No, it's coming back to the Pies. I think it may have been Graham's shepherd on the Collingwood skipper. Nathan Buckley to take it. I made mention about Bucks, the most consistent footballer without a doubt in my mind in the competition, and I would just love to see him, Sauce, become a 40-plus goal kicker for the Pies. That's 2 a game.
He does get a lot of his possessions in their back 50, Dokes.
He goes short.
Forward, he becomes dangerous.
Running Licuria.
So Licuria looking to deliver out for Shane Wakeland, who's a long way up the ground. Claims the mark. Holland right there with him. Licuria had run for him. He went longer looking for Clement, but overdid it. Dixon coming in to take it away from Freeborn and did that effectively. Chick, he really just banged away. Lots of Pies back there. Wakeland sees it over. What do you make of the matchup of Joel Smith and Chris Tarrant back at full forward, Steve?
Yeah, a little bit surprising. There was a bit of word around that Joel Smith will take Tarrant, but obviously Hay has taken Rocker, so the job goes to Joel Smith on Tarrant.
Free kick going to McKee. Played well in the VFL last week. You can see there not too much height difference between Joel Smith and Tarrant, just a little bit of height.
Just so important that the Hawks do match up on the Pies, because the Pies do like chipping it around, keeping possession and running into a little bit of space.
Graham taking the relieving mark. I guess the thing about Joel Smith is that he could probably run off Tarrant.
That's right. I mean, he's one of their linkmen out of the back half, and it's so important to him.
Be interesting to see if it actually affects the way he himself plays, knowing that he's on such a dangerous player.
Well, he'd be hoping to take him back to the goal square, but if Hawthorn have got possession, he can certainly run off Tarrant.
And if there's anyone in the Collingwood team that's able to keep up with Joel Smith, it's Chrissy Tarrant. He is quick.
Well, that was Leckus' kick. Thompson
So, as we mentioned, Nathan Thompson has certainly established himself, at least in the minds of the Hawthorn coaching brains at the moment, as the #1 ruckman. There's the Pies bench.
Vandenberg has got Buckley.
Ball comes in, McKee. 4.5 minutes, no scorers yet. Wrapped up in the end is Johnny Barker, another player with an interrupted pre-season, so big year last year.
Very little free-flowing footy at the moment too.
Well, you'd expect it, Hutto. There's a lot at stake, and I think everyone will be called upon to have a man and keep everyone pretty honest at the moment. So, Leckers, right foot to the ball, Vandenberg. Barker behind the play was good to allow his teammate time. He'll centre the ball. Players have to go. Clement over the back. Holland allows Crawford to take it. Then McCabe, normally a defender, around the body and across goal. No score. Lucuria dropped it in the end. Cox is there. The Pies have also another player on hand. It was Scotty Burns, very good last week, over the line out of bounds.
Really a poor kick on that occasion. I think it was McCabe who tried to centre that ball, but he did have Thompson in the middle.
So one of the problems, Barker took it out of the ruck on that left foot, Cox underneath it, and Scotty Burns once more. Rush through for a minor score. 5.5 minutes into this first quarter from the G, and we have the Hawks on that solitary point. Collingwood yet to score.
5.5 minutes into the first quarter, Collingwood yet to go inside their 50.
Nick Davis with the kicking in duties. Clement leads to his left, but he goes to himself and then looking for Freeborn on the outer side. Chance Bateman, who was the hero last week for the Hawks. Good spoil, Buckley. Nowhere to go. Holland provides the lead. It's Brodie Holland. McCabe tracking him today. Free kick. No!
Oh, yeah, good decision. He had it and then dropped it.
Gee, it was red hot.
Well, he took possession of it, Hutto.
Simon Cox able to break from halfback. Nothing really doing for him on this side of the ground. Goes longer. Crawford. Broke clear.
Did well there, Crawford. Lucuria was focused on his body and he just was able to slip away from him.
Barker's got the run here. You would have thought he'll take it. Nick Davis getting a bit of it early, so that will make him feel better. McKee also. Lockyer on the overlap. Nowhere to go. He's gone for the boundary line. Thompson not there in time. So the Hawks one behind and Collingwood yet to score. 7 minutes gone in this opening term.
A good option selection from Tarkin Lockyer. In the end, yeah, Josh Fraser further up the ground, but he was being sandwiched by two Hawthorn players. Ball thrown in, Thompson from behind, off the ground by Vandenberg on the full. So Collingwood's kick. So Vandenberg, it'll come to Lockyer. It can go in the middle, McKee. They get the loose man going. Betheris through the middle, be shepherded by Loney. Will go in long, kicks towards Brodie Holland. No, Tarrant in the end misses it with Smith. Graham to back up. Didn't slap it out, goes across on that left foot. Out of side, good kick. Nick Holland well down the ground. Chance for the Hawks now. As Holland just chips up, couldn't be 15 metres. Allowed to take and then move on as Cox. Beautiful kick, and he'll find Thompson.
Thompson's already been pushing forward, gets it in quickly. Cox at the back, Parker. Got it! No. Lucuria. Gee, that was fierce work by the Hawks. Dixon over the top of it.
I thought Scotty Burns was being pushed by Cox then.
Well, he actually did very well there, actually, to get a spoil on the ball. Scott Burns.
Ben Dixon's another player, a little bit up and down so far, capable of anything.
Clement with the job on Dixon. We can see Cloak watching Barlow very closely.
He's been a bonus for the Pies in the early part of this season, Jason Cloak.
Clement and Cox, McKee, Green, Rawlings, Thompson, Vandenberg, tried to get it out to McCabe. A few leads, one came from Barlow. It was a good positive lead. Did everything but take the mark. Still there a chance. Vandenberg kicked a couple last week. Graham, who's going to have all sorts of roles this afternoon. Not a great kick. McKee getting deep in defence, and he's got nowhere to go. He has to hold play up because Collingwood didn't have anyone really running. Now they've got some. On the overlap, there's Buckley and there's Burns. He went somewhere in the middle hoping for Burns. If they could release it out to wing, there's plenty of space for Buckley to work in. So they did it hard, but they got there in the end. Good result. Freeborn advancing down the ground. Tarrant got space in front of him, and Nick Davis. That'll get a big roar from the Collingwood fans. He looks quickly up. Rocker's made his way back to the goal square, but he wasn't watching.
Well, he's not a bad kick, and he's got some early touches, Sauce, which is a good sign. And the thing with Nick Davis, he can kick a football.
He can kick. I just would have liked him to get back off his mark a little bit quicker there, Dates. He did have Rocker running in towards the goal square, but obviously he's keen to get his first kick and hopefully he can put it through for a goal.
A few deep breaths for Nick Davis. And not the greatest result. It looked off the boot. Got close in the end, didn't it?
Post it.
It seemed to wobble, but behind, at least he's got on the scoreboard, and so have Collingwood.
Pretty important on these kickouts too, Gates, that Collingwood just try and slow Hawthorn up. They love to run out of their back 50, and if they can just hold them up, will do a hell of a lot to stem the flow from the Hawthorn back half.
Just so important also that they stop Joel Smith from running off that kick in. He goes out wide. Good mark with Theris. Not a bad player overhead. Can go in the middle. Anthony Rocker. There is two here, and Rocker in the end comes up with it. Lockyer was also there. Sitting behind him was Ryan Loney. So Anthony Rocker with the chance to kick his first, Collingwood's first, and the first of the game.
And good to see that his Collingwood teammates just settle him down, told him to go back and have a shot, because we all know that he can kick the distance.
Slight angle for Anthony Rocker, whose form has been pretty good in Collingwood's first 3 games.
His left shoulder heavily bandaged. He heard that last week against Carlton.
Anthony Rocker, normally a pretty accurate kick, has to keep it down. Not a problem. No problem whatsoever. First goal to Rocker and the Pies. So Collingwood are on the board. First goal of the game, 11.5 minutes first quarter, has Collingwood 1-1-7. The Hawks, that point.
Always nice to get the first goal of the game, but it actually resulted from a kick out. Collingwood put the Hawthorn backman under the pump, and lovely square up here. And Anthony Rocker took a mark inside the 50, and we know what type of kicker he is.
Just amazing that you allow a key position player so much room, especially across half forward, just inside 50.
Well, it does happen on kick-out states because they are zoning.
So the Pies, after 11.5 minutes, have the first goal. Let's see how the Hawks respond. 1-1 to 1 behind. Young Rees on for his first run at senior AFL level. But Daniel Chick, desperately wanting to have an impact this afternoon, goes very wide. Barker tracking Prestigiacombe over the line. There's Nick Holland. Wakeland with the job on him today.
He's got those side pants on as well, Dave.
Yeah. Well, he does do a lot of bullocking and does throw the body in, so you'd expect him to come up with a lot of bruising and bumps. Nick Holland, it'd be interesting to see if he's able to sustain 4 quarters across half forward and just what his workload would be like.
Vandenberg staying very close to Buckley. Crawford getting it in there. Burns attacking it.
Well done.
And he had Freeborn in support. And now they can link up through half back. Mercuria went by hand. Cloak just banging it away, really.
It's not
no
a bad
one
kick,
there.
though.
McCabe, Fraser, and finds the line.
Well, under pressure, he really didn't have a lot of options. A lot of players being marked. He went in long, made a contest at half forward at 60 metres away from where that kick first was executed. Collingwood have it at half forward. Let's make a contest there.
It's pretty open inside the 50 if they were to get it in, but Lekis able to take away. Tried to use Cox. You can see the result. Loney had time to get to his left, but didn't quite straighten as he would have liked. Joel Smith be happy to see it over.
Wasn't a great kick, but probably had the desired effect. The ball's inside the Collingwood 50, so at least putting the Hawthorn backman under a little bit of pressure.
Funny old game at the moment at the MCG.
Well, they can go in long, Collingwood, because they have the tools in Tarrant, Anthony Rocker and Josh Fraser in there.
Fraser doing it on his own. And gee, had a great build-up.
Yeah, it would have been a sensational goal, but Collingwood really do need a big game out of Josh Fraser. Obviously, he's had a poor pre-season, but they do need him to stand up today.
So Joel Smith across goal, hands off to McCabe, back to Joel Smith. No, it's coming back. Now, will this get thrown in, Hutto?
It's a free kick, it looks like.
It is.
He's played a free kick.
For whatever reason,
Something off the ball.
Brodie Holland runs into a position to take it. Now, a shepherding further up the ground. Certainly didn't happen where Joel Smith had first taken a ball, as Chris Tarrant with his hands on it. Right side for a left footer. McCabe sitting just inside to stop him from wielding around. He really should go back a little bit further. He'll go around now. Boomerang. It is good. It's real good. Tarrant's first and Collingwood second. It's a 12-point lead. 2-1-13 the Pies. The Hawks, that solitary behind.
We'd be pretty happy with that, Chris Tarrant. Virtually a give-me of a goal, a free kick, which was giving something happen up the field, and an undisciplined act, and I'm sure that Peter Schwab would be most disappointed with the Hawthorn player that gave that free kick away. But great goal by Chris Tarrant.
Good finish.
A very handy freebie for the Pies, and Chris Tarrant 2-1-13 to 1 behind. 12 points the margin. Buckley waiting down. He's got Chick alongside him this time. Vandenberg takes it out of the middle. Lockyer sweeping across half-back. Using Davis. Goes for his namesake, and he gets clear. Well done, Nick Davis. Got away Rees, his opponent, at this early stage. So a big task for young Nick Rees. Tarrant's got clear. The block was made, was it Rocker?
Rocker, fantastic block. He just took Joel Smith out of the play there, and tremendous block, and he's resulted in Tarrant getting the kick.
Good to see Leon Davis out there as well. In recent weeks has started. Here's that Nick Davis provide. Leon Davis, good to see him starting the game out there, his speed.
Great start by Tarrant. Fantastic start. That's his second. And the Pies, what a jump they've made at the MCG. 3-1-19. Hawthorn just one behind.
A great start by the Pies, and obviously it's come from teamwork. It's something that probably they haven't been doing over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but just a little block, a little 1%er by Anthony Rocker allowed Chris Tarrant to get free from Joel Smith, and that's a good sign for the Pies, Dates.
Very good signs. And if you allow this man a little bit of space to run into, he is quick. Has been able to finish off, and that's something the Pies have lacked in recent weeks. They've jumped out to an 18-point lead, 17 minutes first quarter. Overcast day in Melbourne.
Both sides playing a loose man in defence.
Just to start, Mick Malthouse was looking for. Hopefully they're able to build on it. Loose ball, Chick. They need him firing. Into attack go the Hawks. Over the back of the players. No, Clement does beautifully. Sacked Dixon underneath it and then took the mark. Moves it on quickly. Slipping the end, Brodie Holland. Then missing it, Simon Cox. In support, Lacuria to Holland. Doing well at the moment, Collingwood. Towards Batheris, who was pushed. No, it is. It's coming back against the Hawks. 50. No.
A little bit lucky there, Dates. The 50 could have been rewarded.
So well spotted, Batheris on again. At the moment running the Hawks off. Lacuria. Chance for the Pies. Steadies and goes in long. Tarrant with a set. Joel Smith. And in the end, players.
Kick.
Oh, no. Kick to Tarrant in the end. Ran straight into the body. Joel Smith of Chris Tarrant. I'm not sure whether it was there.
I'm not too sure whether it was there, Dates, but 50-50, I'm not too sure.
Well, Joel Smith, I don't know, he should have been. Tarrant will go around again, take 2 for a goal. Goal number 3 to Tarrant. It has been a dream start from the Pies. They're 4-1-25. Tarrant has 3 of those goals, so the Hawks are on a point.
You talk about a dream start, Dates. Chris Tarrant, 3 goals in 4 minutes, and as a forward, you dearly love that. As a defender, that is a nightmare.
Don't know why Joel Smith was so outward on Tarrant then. It was so close to the line.
Unbelievable start for Chris Tarrant and Collingwood. He's kicked 3 out of their first 4.
And
Two of them from free kicks.
And I guess Peter Swab would be looking at that matchup, Joel Smith on Tarrant.
Can the Hawks respond? Thompson was more concerned with McKee than the ball by the look of that. Crawford out of the middle, Lekis getting it in there. Chick's playing across half forward now. Burns with him. Chick got it forward. Crawford, just his ability to run forward, pick up the ball, and Chick are very close behind.
Well, they've yet to score a goal, and the skipper would have loved to put that one through. I'm just looking at that matchup, Smith on Tarrant, maybe Graham or Hay, Dakes.
Graham's out on Betheris at the moment.
I'd love to see Joel Smith back across half-back. They need his running. They need him to be running through midfield and chipping inside 50 for the Hawks. Loose ball on the kick-in over. Buckley did well under pressure. Into the path. In the end, Freeborn was run down. That's what the Hawks need at the moment. Cox, Hawthorn back into attack, running into it, knocked away from Barker. Loose ball to Barlow. He'll kick and it should go away from goal. It does. The way he was holding it,
Free kick.
it was always going to spin away from the goals.
It was a great spoil by Prestigiacomo on Barker.
So Clement across the goal. Collingwood retained possession. They've been very good at running it out of defence. Players in support. Lacuria dangerous. Could have given it up. Buckley may see it over. No, kept it in. Leon Davis to his advantage. Can he run Crawford? He had to keep his footing, and Davis didn't have it. It'll come back. Just seems to be going right for Collingwood at the moment. Certainly the frees would be in their advantage. There's Leon Davis at half-back, so they're not scared to get back in a support role in defence. Into the middle, Scotty Burns, the job on Chick. Into the air it goes. McCabe, front position, sat back and took a chest mark.
Trying to get it going out of defence. Harford, Bateman, Harford again. They seem to be sharing the role on Buckley, the Hawks at the moment. Buckley taking it away, sending it to Nick Davis. Got clear again.
Got it.
Well, the two players that all the attention's been on, Nick Davis and Chris Tarrant, have responded in magnificent fashion so far today.
It's been a great start for those two players, but once again, it was the Collingwood midfield or up the ground where they applied the pressure onto the Hawthorn runners. They turned the ball over from sheer pressure, and as a result, they were able to get the ball inside their 50 very quickly, and Nick Davis ended up taking a lovely mark.
Sean Wren's warming up to come up for the Hawks, so they may be changing their structure.
Another goal here, and boy, a Hawthorn up against it.
Well, last year in the same match, Collingwood got away to a flyer and the Hawks came back and absolutely flogged them in the end. They're going to need something special today. It's a behind. And the crowd and Nick Davis thought it might have been a goal.
Well, it would have been a nice way to top off a pretty good first quarter from Nick Davis. Still have a fair way to go. 22 and a half first quarter, Sauce.
Young Didak has come onto the ground and Holland has come off.
The Hawks at the moment unable to manage a goal. Collingwood starting to race away. Joel Smith out of side, kicks in long, and good mark in the end. Jonathan A will be paid. So that right knee pretty well strapped up at the moment. Simon Cox has to go back to Hay, who may have hurt his knee. He's gone. Slaps it out to Cox, the left footer. Enough room? No. Rocker did beautifully. Smothered it, and the pressure at the moment spot on from the Pies.
Mick Malthouse will be delighted with this effort. It's exactly what they needed to do. Just put the Hawthorn runners under a bit of pressure, and they're doing that to a T.
Well, they're playing this game as we set out and we mentioned earlier. A lot at stake. The Pies have certainly, as they say in football, come to play. Crawford into the air, just over half forward. Loney has to go, put himself on the line. Cox was there, but Theris. Cloak dropping it. Lekis trip, yes. So it'll come back. Hawks have it. McKee's dropping back across half forward at the moment as a loose man, so Lekis has to look at another avenue instead of just bombing in long. He'll just drop it in short. Wing it is. Is it 15? Has been paid out there. So Bateman has it, kicked the ripper goal. Closing stages in Tassie last week. Half forward, no one home. Buckley to mop up. Being spoken to, plays around him and then gives it up. So it'll be a Hawthorn free. Just back behind half forward.
Buckley's opponent, young Vandenberg, has come off the ground and been replaced by young Piccioni.
So Thompson, too far out the score. He's got Barker down there, Chicks down there lurking as well. Dixon leads out of the square, but he goes into the pocket to Barker, Prestigiacomo and Rocker collaborating to get them out of defence. Well, I'm not sure it's going to get them far though. Piccioni, quick snap around the body, right across the face, and a behind to Daniel Harford. He's another one who's been struggling a bit this year, Stu.
He has, and started on the bench today, but Collingwood just need to clear it out of there. When they're under the pump, they've just got to go long towards the boundary line.
Lockyer out wide. Room to run for the Pies now. New boy Mark Goff. McGoff has got it, should say, into half forward. Davis from behind, does well to bring it down. Graham running away from goal. Davis did beautifully, and that's always a good thing. If a forward's able to run up the ground, or prepared to run up the ground, allow the ball to go over his head, he's reversing the roles, isn't he, Steve? If the defender wins possession of the ball, he has to do the U-turn. The forward wins it, he's going straight at goal.
Spot on, Dunks.
So, half forward, 60 from goal. Approaching quarter time, another goal for the Pies will make it awfully hard. Davis, Buckley tried to kick it, missed it in the end. High scrutiny from his opposite skipper in Crawford as Mick Malthouse looks on. 600 games being a part of. Fair effort from the Collingwood coach. So Hawthorn 3 points at the moment, playing the Pies 4-2, and straight over from Josh Fraser. So I don't think they'll be in any rush to even add on this scoreboard. It'll be a bonus for the Pies, but if they can go in a quarter time having kept Hawthorn goalless, fair effort.
Thompson and Fraser. McKee, decisive. Batheris' kick. Good effort from Tarrant, not quite. Was it out of bounds? It wasn't. Lekis. He's got Harford and Piccioni really busting a gut to get clear. And from here, still not much on because Collingwood have manned up pretty well.
Well done,
They did that well.
Yeah,
did it really well.
A couple of options very close and short through the middle.
He risked giving away 50 metres, but in the end, it paid off.
Buckley and Crawford are now playing on each other.
Who's playing on who, do you think, out of that?
Well, I think that both players will go wide.
And both have 8 possessions for the quarter.
Harford's delivery to Barlow. Rawlings is down the ground. He's pushing up to make a lead at half forward. Dixon strong out of the square. Thompson's back there. One-on-one with McKee. You'd favour Thompson. He's in front. Couldn't take it. Rocker, who's also worked really hard to get back and help out, as is Buckley and McKee. Cloak, better watch out here. Had to get rid of it really quickly. Loney also under pressure the boundary. That's where he'd like to take it.
Chasing Cloak, Hutto being knocked as he handballed away, was crunched into by Chris Barlow. It's further down the ground.
Well, that lets them off the hook because they're under pressure there, Collingwood. Loney, we know how far he can kick, but he's got nowhere to go at the moment, no targets. Now, a lead being made on the wing by Lockyer. Tarrant telling him to keep out of his space.
Batheris is a player in the middle of the ground who seems to be loose at the moment.
That is not 15, so Freeborn having to bang. Wakeland, Tarrant, Giles, Smith. Cloak, Buckley. Bangs it, one-on-one, Nick Davis stays in front. McKay. Almost out. Did well to keep it alive. Gives Batheris a chance. And Didak can stroll in and kick Collingwood's 5th goal. Alan Didak back in the team. And making a difference. 5-2 Collingwood. Hawthorn. No goals.
Well, super play by the Pies then. Just watch Nick Davis carefully. He actually protected the ball in that area right there on screen as we saw. And just keeping the ball alive. As a forward, you've got to keep the ball alive. And obviously Collingwood got the benefit at the end of the day.
So what a start from Collingwood. They lead by 29 points, just under 29 played first quarter. Hawthorn with their backs up against it at the moment. Rocker down, Harford missed it. Again being swamped. Feature of Collingwood's game. Rocker slapped it out, Harford in there again. Tripped in the end. And Collingwood's new boy, So Mark McGough to take it. So second touch for he. Actually handball nearly to himself. So News possibly getting the better of him. Leon Davis.
He got 2 possessions that way.
On that left foot, half forward. Buckley did well. Did well in the end against Crawford. Leckis looking for Crawford. I don't know if that was the right option. Graham under a lot of pressure. The Hawks kicks around the body. Leon Davis back there will take a mark. So has to drive in long. McKeith, very good first quarter. Well on top. Rocker is a target. Rocker came from behind, then took it. Is it in? No. Batheris. Boundary throwing just outside 50 pies into attack.
I've got to ask you again about the Joel Smith-Tarrant matchup, Steve. 29 minutes gone, 30 minutes gone. Joel Smith still no possessions for the day.
Yeah, obviously they're not getting the drive from him, but listen, Collingwood have just they're putting pressure on the Hawthorn midfielders, and that's why he's not getting any run.
So McCabe will go along the boundary. So between wing and half forward, still into attack for the Pies. It has been an amazing first quarter, and at the moment that puts Hawthorn on the back foot. Now they have to try and they're really in a defensive type mode to try and stop a lot of the Collingwood runners.
They are, and Nathan Buckley already with 10 possessions.
Amazing stuff. Fraser trying to get it out to Lockyer. Tarrant's got 2 to beat, so he's getting some help. Joel Smith back there from Rawlings. And Crawford getting at the fall of the ball. He's got some runners. Cox just gets there in time. Sharing it with young Rees. Nowhere to go, so he went to the boundary line. If it goes out, it'll be a great kick. If it doesn't, it'll give Collingwood a chance to set up. I hadn't thought of the third option, which was the siren. But what a quarter by Collingwood. And it seems to happen every week. Whoever's under the pump comes out, fires up, plays great footy, and at quarter time, Steve, they're in control at this early stage.
It has been the trend over the last couple of weeks, Hutto, but I think Michael Malthouse will be delighted with the start. Chris Tarrant and young Nick Davis, who have been under the pump all week, got off to a fantastic start. Their pressure skills too have been good, Collingwood, and I think Hawthorn's run is non-existent, and that's where they've got to try and get some fluency.
So quarter time, Collingwood 5 goals, Hawthorn 0.
Handing some tips over to his players. Very good first quarter. Certainly pushing uphill here, Hawthorn at the moment.
Second quarter underway from the MCG. Let's see how Hawthorn go out of the middle. Chick getting them forward. Crawford, Lockyer. Oh, Crawford hemmed in, but somehow he got clear. Vandenberg was pushing forward, just couldn't find the footy. Burns attacking it hard and able to team up with Scotland, who started on the bench. Distance on the kick all right, and good strong lead by Batheris.
Good overhead, Batheris.
Hawthorn trying to hold him up. Buckley calls for it. Away to his left, he's got Cloak, and that's McGough.
Oh, well done.
Well done by McGough, who came in as a late change. His delivery was excellent. Didak. There's been a bit of that. They're going down like 9 pins in the middle of the ground. Burns. Again at the back, trying to get onto his left foot. Didak. Graham. He's now got Nick Davis as his opponent. And so they're persisting with Joel Smith on Chris Tarrant.
Gee, the Hawks are fumbling a lot, not taking the ball cleanly, and again having to go back. Graham on that occasion, running through, took it and then dropped it, had to go back.
And really, I think that's a result of Collingwood's pressure in that first quarter.
So into attack again, the Pies, 55-60, thereabouts from goal. Rocker, Graham tapped it down. Scotland cannot get this away as Mark Graham making sure this ball not going inside 50 for the Pies. Pachoni started on the ground earlier. Sean Wren, he'd have to be an option now with McKee dominating, and Adrian Cox also sitting on the bench. So have their hands full at the moment, and Schwabby's 7-day of planning for this game is certainly out the window, because the Hawks now having to reshuffle and go to plan B to try and get back into the game.
Looks like Scotland may have gone on to Crawford just by the way they are manning up there around the pack. And Vandenberg back on Buckley.
Well, fresh legs for the Pies. Bateman going with Leon Davis just off the ball here. Be interesting to see maybe third man up hereabouts and knock it forward. Rocker's there, Josh Fraser also thereabouts. Josh Fraser will knock it inside 50. Vandenberg has been quiet, will go towards the boundary. So in front of the members here at the G. Pies maintaining that 29-point lead. 2.5 minutes second quarter. Half forward for the Pies.
The Hawks have dearly loved the first goal in this quarter, just to give themselves a little bit of confidence.
Josh Fraser down. No one in front of Crawford who can run. This is what they need, Hawks now. Being shepherded, 2 bounces just over wing. Zigzags inboard, then goes towards Chick. Takes it now. Daniel Chick will chip up. Dixon will go and mark. Better movement of the ball from the Hawks. And Crawford, some forceful running. Daniel Chick in support, able to provide for Dixon.
Obviously, the run they didn't have in that first quarter, but that's their first mark inside their 50 for the Hawthorn team. And lovely kick here by Daniel Chick, who just put the ball out in front, and young Ben Dixon did the rest.
So the Hawks are looking for their first goal of the game. We're 3.5 minutes second quarter. Dixon normally a good kick. I'll run with him here. They really need this one, Hawthorn, and Ben Dixon has proven in the past he can come up with a goal when required. Goes at goal. Will it get there? It does. Just. So they've had to wait for a while, but the Hawks have come good. 4 minutes into this second quarter. They're at 139. They still trail the Pies, 5-2-32. And Steve, it's a good sign early in this second quarter.
It is, and once again set up by Shane Crawford and Ben Dixon with his first kick, kicking his first goal.
Just the start Hawthorn needed to this second quarter. So they've been able to cut the margin back to 23. Thompson,
Crawford,
McKee.
Sorry, Hutto, sitting back behind Thompson, all on his own.
Out of the middle. Collingwood going forward. Good strong presence from Rocker. Cleared the path for Buckley. He had a couple of options. He went for home. And once again, he misses away to the right. Nathan Buckley's kicking this year. Last year he kicked 14 goals, 21. So far this year, 3 goals, 5, and that makes 3 goals, 6.
Well, that's an area of his game. He's pretty much a complete player, but if he's able to add goal kicking to the massive possessions that he does accumulate, all of a sudden he's doing the job of 2 players.
Spot on.
So Graham,
a good contest there by Anthony Rocker.
Graham to send the Hawks into attack. Long it is. Oh, too high against Wakeland. Nick Holland, who stood his ground. Still at half-back hugging the boundary here. Northern side of the ground. They're going, oh, danger. Davis will mark. He'll move it on quickly. Here comes Tarrant. He's got it.
Kills you, doesn't it? Poor errors, and I think that was Holland's first kick. And honestly, if you were Joel Smith, you'd be thinking, what am I doing back on this last line? The result of a poor turnover. And when you get a kick like that on the lead, pretty hard to stop.
When they're able to break the Pies and go inside 50. This man has space, look out. And he says look out, because that is goal number 4. Tarrant has 4 early in the second. So forward to Chris Tarrant. It's a 30-point lead. And a good reply from the Pies, because they're 6-3-39. Hawthorn 1-3.
It was a good reply. Hawthorn had to work so hard for their first goal, and the Pies replied very quickly, and as a result of the poor kick.
Kicking beautifully, 4 straight for Chris Tarrant.
Yes, amazing start by Chris Tarrant, and Collingwood 6-3 to 1-3.
They've actually got marking options, Collingwood, up forward. They've taken 5 marks to Hawthorn, 1 inside their 50.
And Buckley again, Scotland. Rocker won't get there. Harford,
Well done in the end.
McGough just trying to hold him up. Harford trying to get it moving. And Crawford had broken out to the wing. His delivery, pretty good. Lekis had 6 possessions in the first quarter. Thompson a target across half. Well, goes for Barker, who had to really work hard to get there and take the 25-metre pass. Thompson's on his own across half forward. The delivery was very quick, and as a result, it wasn't accurate. We got Lockyer. Went for Buckley. Coxton not able to get there.
Well, Nathan Thompson should have taken that, because sometimes, you know, the greatest luxury in any player is the ball landing on your chest or being kicked out in front. Sometimes you have to work for it, and Thompson really should have taken it.
The change has been made. Hay has gone on to Tarrant.
Well, Leon Davis worked really hard for that possession.
Joel Smith on Josh Fraser. Now, that's interesting. You'd probably expect Mick Malthouse to drop Fraser back now.
Davis, there's a free kick.
Collingwood's
Up the ground. There's a Hawthorn player, Hay, on the ground. It's not Hay.
He's
gets Chris
reported.
Tarrant reported. Well, actually, the ball is coming back.
Chris Tarrant looks like he's been reported.
So it's going to be a Hawthorn ball up on half-back. I wonder what impact that will have on Chris Tarrant's game for the rest of the afternoon. Rucker and Graham. That just shows how ferocious the Pies have been this afternoon. Interesting centre of the ball. Certainly gave Collingwood a chance, but Rawlings good enough. Crawford linking up. Joel Smith coming in for his first possession. Now can go short, so immediately he's released, and his delivery not bad. Thompson had to run the big arm, but he was able to do it. Lockyer came in to try and smother, and he just put enough pressure in to force the error.
Should have gone into the middle. Daniel Harford still standing in that central spot inside 50.
They do look a much better team, though. When you allow the Hawks to run through the middle of the ground, it really does open up the forward line, and that's what they've struggled to do all day. And if they can just get some run through the middle, they will get themselves back into this game.
Graham has gone back on a Josh Fraser inside 50. Collingwood big man has waltzed. Out wide, good kick, Clement, and Scotty Burns traps it. So he can move into the middle, Didac. He'll go around. Evasive skills spot on. In the end, well done. Retarded in the end. Loose ball, Wakeland through the middle, can hand off to Loney. Decides to kick. Out wide, Tarrant will come out. Pressure, loose ball. McGough, he'll head into goal. 35 to finish, and misses. They're all celebrating down there.
He forgot to watch it all the way through.
Gee, they're giving him a hug, and he kicked the point.
He did think he kicked it.
The goal.
Pretty excited in your first game of footy. Did very well there. Nice tap over by Chris Tarrant. And just finished on the wrong side of the post.
Maybe he's just happy to get a point.
He looked away. He mustn't have wanted to know the score. 6-4 to 1-4.
I'm looking forward to him kicking a goal.
Joel Smith with the job. Still of kicking in, despite the fact that he's now been moved off Tarrant. Just changed his kick at the last minute, weighted it nicely. Rawlings.
They do look a little bit better, the Hawks. They still trail by 30, but I think they've balanced it out, and there's a little bit more run. They need the run.
Well, I think they're better in the contest too at the moment, Dokes.
Just found the man with that low kick, Vandenberg. Rawlings ran past him looking for it again. Joel Smith already with 2 possessions.
Just so much better further up the ground.
Normally delivers nicely. This time he's got nowhere to go, really. Lots of numbers in front of him. Lots and lots.
Simon Cox is half forward, out wide, no one on the mark.
Almost got himself into trouble. Just got it away to Stephen Green, who's been pretty quiet on fancy for the Hawks. Now he's had, that's his 6th possession. Well, surprise. Fraser. Sweeping nicely. McGough, his recovery was outstanding. He got that one online. Didac off his left to the wing. Buckley's running for him. Burns in support. Bateman charging. Burns. Tarrant's in the square, waiting for it to come down. Hay trying to track with him. He makes his lead now. He's got 2 to beat. Got 4 to beat. And it was impossible. Free kick. Hawthorn free. Went against Tarrant. Harford able to link up. Graham. Well, they've taken a long time to clear the defensive area. McCabe having to kick quickly, had lots of numbers to go to. Harford again being held up. and went to the boundary line. He could have gone to Nathan Thompson, who was metres in the clear.
Why didn't he kick it into half forward, go further down the ground and make a contest with Holland and Shane Wakelin?
Spot on there, Dave. Collingwood just need to be smart now. They know that men are dropping back onto Chris Tarrant, so someone else has to provide the lead. They know they're going to be flooding towards Chris Tarrant, so a Nick Davis or an Anthony Rocket needs to present.
So ball comes down. Chick trying to burst his way through. Pachoni missed two in the end, did well. Half of the old 1-2. Pachoni slips over, and we've had a few players, especially Hawthorn players. It's off Holland on the full. So Wakelin to take it.
For a kick.
He on the full.
Slid in the end. Wakelin chips up. Josh Fraser.
The umpire, he was 2 millimetres offline there, so he's got to kick over his mark. So Buckley continuing to amount the possessions for the game. He's now had 16.
He's our man of the moment, red alert. Clearly on top. Buckley, Vandenberg going with him. It's a tied man. Into half forward, Tarrant well down the ground. Loose ball to Curia, and Vandenberg decide to meet. And nearly on the full again off Vandenberg. Johnny Barker coming off, maybe.
They're actually dragging Joel Smith back to the goal square. Nick Davis is taking him back there.
That has been the formula at the moment. Collingwood share it. Fraser kick smothered into half forward. Rocket did well out in front of Buckley. He'll take it and bomb in long. Here we go. Davis and Smith. Knocked away from Davis from Smith in the end, who was sitting back. Slapped back to Davis. Can he find someone? He'll go at goal on that left foot. No one home. Half it underneath it. Good mark. Good mark under a lot of pressure, and he's a chance for the Hawks now.
Lekas, just a bit of fumbling going on. The handball is scrappy as well. So the Hawks not as crisp as they would like to be at the moment. Green working hard. Lekas goes again. Well tackled. Free kick.
That's Hawthorn.
Oh, Lekas might give this up if he's not careful.
Stephen Green, I think, will take this one.
Because their skills have been poor, Hawthorn.
Well, they've been struggling all year, really, the Hawks. For a team that almost made the grand final last year. Never a better example than that. Barlow might get a free. Advantage paid. Green again. Oh, then again they're slipped. They've got to look at their boots, surely.
And that's been the area too, in the middle of the ground.
Bateman. And now he goes again. Vandenberg it was that time. Prestigiacomo. Someone's injured on the wing. We'll get back to that. Didac. Tarrant well clear. Hay nowhere near him.
Well, he pushed Johnny Hay. I was watching him as the ball was going into the forward line, and Tarrant actually knocked Hay off the ball, which was great football.
It is great footy. Young Barlow is the injured player on the wing.
Poor Jason Cloak. I'll tell you what, he is a huge bonus for the Pies because the kid does give a good contest.
And exactly really what the Pies needed in this game, a contest.
Yeah.
So Chris Tarrant for goal number 5. Now to extend this margin, 6-4 to 1-4 as it stands. And they've just kicked a few across the face and missed with behinds in this quarter, so the damage could have been far worse. Tarrant showing his frustrations.
Just some poor play there, I think, by Collingwood. They just needed a tall on that line. Opportunity to really take a mark.
Barlow off. Reese on for the Hawks. Sean Wren, no options at the moment. Pretty predictable in the way this ball will come out for the Pies, which is good.
Rocker takes the mark. He's probably within range here, Steve.
Oh, it's a big ask.
Oh, he has to go for it. Has to go for it. If anyone has a free licence, it's this man right here.
Well, they really should get a tall player back on the line.
They should.
If that's the case. I know Tarrant's back there, but either McKee or Fraser should really be back there.
Sean Wren, oh, good kick.
Now the crowd disappointed. They would love to have seen a big Anthony Rocker bomb at goal. Rawlings. But they've just been halted, aren't they, on their way out of defence, the Hawks. Haven't been able to get the free-flowing run that we know they enjoy so much. Pachoni delivers pretty well that time for Rees, who so far in his first game has had just the one kick. That's his second. Delivering for Crawford.
Daniel Chick has had 7 touches, but he really, that surprised me because he hasn't really figured in this game. They need some hard running from him.
Dixon, a long lead from full forward. Couldn't get there really in the end. McKee again floating back across halfback. Davis and Buckley the targets from the kick. Bateman with Davis. And the margin's still 30 points.
Just a bit of a concern for the Hawks. Dixon and Holland have only had 3 kicks between them.
And there lies one of your problems. At the moment, a lot of your better players not getting their hands on the ball. Ball thrown in. Players go in, a loose ball to Crawford. Certainly has space in front of him. Runs in with time. Good kick, Dixon. Benny Dixon ran about 25 metres. Kicked the Hawks first, has one. And has a chance now for their second. Has their only goal of the game.
Really, he does need to kick this. It's a must goal for the Hawks.
Beautiful kick in the end by Shane Crawford across his body. Dixon having to work for it, takes it. Now the second part of it is to be able to finish off. Goes into the pocket, Thompson leads and slides and marks. I don't know if they're any better off here. Wrong side for a right footer. Nathan Thompson has it closer to goal. Will kick from about 30.
It's not a bad kick. Generally, he does kick well for goal, but obviously the angle's a little bit more acute.
He's kicked 1 goal 5 this year, Steve.
Well, I don't like his chances then, Hunter.
Well, this will certainly make him earn it. He'll have to work from this spot. Thompson for a much-needed goal and misses.
Let's get down to Christy Malthouse. May have some news on the boots, Christy.
Anthony, apparently Hawthorn have got a mixture of boots. Some of them have already changed so that they've got stops at the bottom, but they're still slipping over because it's quite slippery in the centre. But you might see some more changes throughout the game. As for injuries, Chris Barlow is just about to walk past me. He has a corked thigh, which is not good news for him.
Now, was this for time wasting or
out of the square, I think?
Yeah.
Lockyer, the offender. Buckley reluctantly handing it back.
Just something to watch also. They are kicking the ball to Nathan Buckley on the kick-outs.
I'd like to see Wren stand his ground, go body on body on McKee, and Nathan Thompson be the third man up trying to direct this ball. Really need a third man up here. If Wren can hold his ground, I don't think McKee will get over the top of him.
Dixon was trying to get loose, and that's a
well
great...
done.
Well, third man was the prize.
Yep. So Collingwood 6-4, Hawthorn 1-6. The Hawks have managed 1 goal 3 to 1 goal 2 in this quarter. So lead it by 1 behind only. Burns, breaking kicker, lots of space in front of him. The Pies can move it into attack, but Theris has to work hard, does that.
Far too easy on the kickings.
Tarrant makes his break now, goes shorter for Rocker, and once again, we'll say it and hope that he has a shot. He's within range.
Well, this is a little bit closer.
Well, I'm pretty sure he will have a shot.
Leon Davis off for Collingwood. Freeborn back on as Anthony Rocker lines up.
They really shouldn't be leading here, the Pies, unless it's 100% spot on. They really should be telling Anthony Rocker, go back and have a shot. Settling him down.
Drop punt, no torp needed here.
5 goals 2 for the year for Anthony Rocker going into today's game. And he's kicked 1 straight at the moment, and that will not improve his ratio too much. Are behind, so Collingwood and Hawthorn both have kicked 1 goal 3 in this second quarter.
Certainly the game has tightened up, but only 1 goal kicked in this quarter.
To each team.
To each team, correct.
As you were going to say.
So the Hawks to bring it in. Cox, the left footer, out wide he goes. Good kick, Crawford being pinpointed, doesn't let him down, so he takes it and runs. Chips over the top, Sean Render will bounce. Big man in the end lost it. So did Holland, ran over the top of it. They've done that for most of the game. Lucky bounce to Leckers. It was actually kicked off the ground. He'll go towards Thompson, who's got it. No, hit him in the head and he lost it in the end. He's able to get his hands to it. Loose ball will come down. The Hawks through Pachoni. He's gone. He's gone. Good run down from Didak.
Yeah, fantastic pressure. Had he got that ball away, there were 3 Hawthorn players up forward all by themselves.
So Loney half forward takes it and goes down. Is it 50? No, it's Matheris. So did well to hold his ground as Cox came in, and definitely too high in the end. A little bit sloppy from Simon Cox.
Made him earn his kick though, Dogs.
Matheris short and too easy in the end. And we may have that goal and the celebration to come after it as Mark McGough slight angle, 45-degree angle, will go from 40.
Holland coming off the ground, Hay to come back onto the ground.
So Mark McGough in his first game for the Pies
2 kicks, 1 mark.
hasn't got a copybook style when coming into kick, but let's just see if he's able to be effective. The right footer threw it onto the boot and it just gets in. Let the celebration begin. First goal for the youngster, and what a way to kickstart a career. That's Collingwood's 7th, that's his first, and Collingwood jump out to a 35-point lead.
Super start by this young kid. In his first game, not even half a game gone, he's had 10 possessions, and to kick a goal in your first quarter of footy is fantastic.
Well, in round 16 last year, Collingwood led Hawthorn by 5 goals, or almost 5 goals at this exact stage, and the Hawks came back to win by about 5 goals.
Not forgetting, Hutto, it would have been certainly an experience that would have kept Collingwood in good stead.
Chick out of the middle. They need something, Hawthorn, because everything else is pointing to a decisive Collingwood victory. They're on top all over the game, and young McGough going for his second goal. And like his first kick at goal, that one misses away to the right. Not quite the dramatic celebration.
Something about this kid, Dakes, he just seems to be in the right spots. He finds the footy. Maybe a little bit of a question mark on his kicking at the moment, but certainly he's in the right spots.
He's only 17. Joel Smith.
Can make you look silly at times, Joel Smith.
Graham to the wing. Now Rocker's going to go here. Made the spoil. Lockyer buffing it away. Rees. Baccioni. Holland had to work hard, and Wakeland able to knock it clear. Look at Crawford. Look at his run. An attack. Daniel Chick.
Another skill error.
Yep, missed the target. Cox. Crawford again, off the left. The captain needs to kick a goal for Hawthorn, and he does. So the Hawks' second goal coming from their captain. 2-6 to 7-6, just to keep them in touch.
Well, he did beautifully. Sean Wren set it up, I think, earlier. That was a great option. He was under pressure, knocked it over, and we're going back a couple of possessions earlier. But Crawford did well. He held it. His execution wasn't good. Chick was a player, but they got numbers onto the ball.
It's certainly a goal they needed.
On that left foot too.
Crawford and also Buckley. Buckley 17 possessions, Crawford 19. Bit of a Russian roulette footy, Dakes.
Well, it is at the moment. Pies lead. The Hawthorn skipper has his first. Thumped out to Rocker. Tries to load up. In the end, took too long to wind up. Hawks into attack, courtesy of a boot off the ground. Davis, the shepherder, in the end, just missed Daniel Chick. Eyes only for the ball. Joel Smith. And normally, he can go straight at goal, Joel Smith. He took a bounce at 55. He'll drive in long and kick it. And does it in style. That's what Schwalbe would have been looking for, and that's the man that's able to produce. Joel Smith kicks his first.
And really 2 players that they need to get back into this game, Daniel Chick and also Joel Smith. They do provide the spark for Hawthorn, and they were instrumental in kicking that goal.
Well, Joel Smith, you can see him on the wing there at the bottom of screen. Now on the wing against Rupert Batheris. He's finally had an impact on the game. A long goal. He started on Chris Tarrant. It was a nightmare. Tarrant kicked 4 goals, although 2 of them came from free kicks. So the Hawks have strung a couple together, and they're putting some pressure on around the contest. Who's going to win it? Crawford volleying it forward, trying to get his team going. Barlow tracking it back. In fact, it's Leckers because Barlow's off the ground. Holland worked hard. Good work there from Hay, who was a long way from home. Delivery into the pocket. Joel Smith for his second in a minute. No, he misses the lot.
You did mention Jonathan Hay there. He is playing up forward.
Or has he just gone down, just followed his man down the ground, Steve?
No, he's playing up forward.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sauce. Well, the game has certainly swung. Some good signs now from the Hawks. Crawford and Joel Smith in particular starting to come in. Ren has certainly been thereabouts as well. Knocked off the ball too easy, Ren, but Simon Cox in support will take it. Here comes Ben Dixon. He'll fly in the end. Lacura gets a hand to it. Dixon was under the ball, so Clement for the Pies kicked it straight to Hartford. And that's an area of their game last week out of defence. They were giving the ball up far too easy, and that's the first of the game.
You can kick these stakes. It's very skillful.
Hartford. Dixon led back into the middle we go. Simon Cox will mark. Will go around Fraser. Will kick from just inside 50 and go to the right. Does it get back? It does. At the last minute, took the dip they wanted. And the Hawks are back in this game. It's 4-6-30. Cox has his first Simon, and it's 7-6-48 to Pies.
How a game can change so quickly, Dakes. The Hawks kicking 3 goals in 3 minutes, and lovely left foot kick here by Cox. They really have got themselves back involved in this game.
Anthony Rocker in the ruck now for Collingwood.
Ren's given a good contest out of the middle. Certainly in the last 10 minutes, Ren has been good.
Collingwood had it out to 35 points, back to 18.
Amazing turnaround in this game. 48-30. Almost half-time. Chick, here they go out of the middle again. No, the Ferris on the turnover. Can they hurt them? That's the question. Davis trying to provide the answer. Yes!
He is a very good overhead mark, Nick Davis. Does jump into the air for a lot of the kids that are watching. He's not scared to throw himself into the air, and that's all important.
Pretty important goal, this Stakes, if he kicks it. I just reckon that to go into half-time, 4 goals in front, and just stem the tide a little bit, will certainly dent Hawthorn's confidence, but also just keep the confidence up for the Magpies.
And see his game ranking there, number 9 ranked in terms of statistics for the day. So Nick Davis almost on the halftime siren. It's very close. I think it's a goal. It is. Just got there. And that may be a very decisive goal because Hawthorn were up and running. They kicked 3 in a row and they had the ball on the run, ready to go forward.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind that goal umpire on my side, Dax. I'm pretty sure that went to the other side of the post. But there you go.
Well,
Nick Davis will be very happy.
Well, we are trialling our very own goal umpire up here, Hutto. And Sauce. Yeah, I possibly agree. Look, I suppose he missed that one, went against him in that first quarter. But again, the goal umpire is in the best position.
I can't argue.
So the Pies get the right on the halftime siren.
Start the third quarter.
And Hay is starting at full forward. Wakeland is picking him up.
Thompson is in a ruck. Daniel Chick sitting in behind him.
Holland on rocker.
Third quarter underway. Thompson getting first hands on it. Green out of the middle. Cox. Out comes charging Nick Holland. Jonathan Hay. Just not used to seeing him come charging out of the full forward position, Steve. It's an interesting move, isn't it?
It is, but certainly he's got all the attributes to provide an option up there.
And he can kick the ball a long way. He didn't quite get hold of that as he would have liked, but Thompson certainly did.
Well, Loney had Thompson there, and obviously his height was just too much for young Loney.
Have a look at the angle he's being put on. So that ball came from the middle of the ground. He marks it virtually in the square, and have a look at the angle. They need this one. Good start for the Hawks. Thompson's able to goal.
We mentioned earlier, he'd been pretty inaccurate so far this year, Nathan Thompson. See if he can deliver this one through the middle. he just sneaked around beautifully to make sure it went through. Good start for the Hawks. Well, it's interesting that move with Jonathan Hay forward, Steve. I mean, I guess they're trying to stretch Collingwood at the other at that end of the ground because Collingwood have got Tarrant and Rocker forward, and Richardson's out of the side today with an injury.
Well, that's right. That's what they'd be trying to do, but also they've struggled to take grabs inside their 50, and we know that Jonathan Hay can do that. And along with Thompson moving down there and also Dixon certainly provides them with some marking targets up forward.
So early for the Hawks, back to 18 points. McKee to go in against the goal kicker for the Hawthorn team, Nathan Thompson. Need to win it out of the middle, all important. Thompson took it out and then held on to it, tripped in the end and comes up with it. So definitely there.
They've got the two first clearances out of the middle.
So hands off to Crawford. Dances around a Collingwood player, draws and then goes out wide. Chance for Rawlings, who has time. Will go in long. Barker, Hay, in the end, coming down. Prestigiu came. Maloney dropped it in the end. Loose ball, chance of the Hawks trying to shrug a tackle. In the end, Vandenberg will go nowhere. And Collingwood wrap it up in the end. But boy, are they under pressure.
It is interesting, Dakes, when you do get the ball out of the middle and you put the backman under the pressure of the ball coming in quickly, it certainly creates a few headaches, and exactly what Hawthorn has done.
Vandenberg has sat out from this. Crawford's back at half forward, member side of the ground. Buckley will go up and knock it towards Crawford. Freeborn there for the Pies, then slaps it out Loney to Buckley again. Second touch, good kick, Brodie Holland. He's been quiet, will drive in long. Here comes Tarrant. He'll mark, no, in the end. Good pressure, Graham. The ball sits back. Players go in, too high in the end. It'll go to Graham.
They have played on each other in the past, Graham and Tarrant.
So he'll go over the top to McCabe. Chips, and Thompson slides in to take a mark for the Hawks.
Perhaps not as fluent out of defence as they would have liked there, Hawthorn, but they've still got some loose men on the overlap. Out wide, Bateman can go for Cox. Cheney goes in short. Vandenberg calls for it in the middle. Then he looked around and realised the kick was meant for him, but it was a shocker. Cloak. Rocker is clear. He's going to have a good run up here. Can he take the mark? No, he misjudged it. Thompson got back really well to help out. And now, on the rebound, Nick Holland. Sending the direction of Hay. Got clear again from Prestigiu.
Barker further up the ground.
Dixon leads out of the square.
Good hands by Hay there.
Barker's gone back to the square. Oh, Cox just able to ride it out. Bateman too far out. They're trying to set it up. Collingwood got lots of numbers back. McCabe Burns able to chop the Dixon. Courage. And will it be 50?
Has to be.
Yeah, it will.
Great play, Scotty Burns. And if there's a feature of this guy's game, it's that. His ability to put himself on the line.
And it's okay to zone off in the hole, but you've also got to get your body between yourself and the ball, or your man and the ball, and he does it week in, week out.
Burns out wide, Davis will mark. So the little man becomes the big man marking. Running on is Clement, just inside 50. Davis, Rocker, he'll go wide, Davis. Cox right with him, Rocker loose ball. Took it and then got the arms clear. He did beautifully, McKee. A little bit of time. Players in support. The big man. 55 from goal. Cheeky. Licuria. Evades. Can go short to Holland. Lockyer will mark. So Hawthorn's still defending beautifully inside Collingwood's 50. He'll go back from where the ball came and Clement will mark. At the moment, just finding it hard to get inside 50.
Can he kick the distance, Dakes, Clement?
Normally a good kick. Would not surprise. This will be a test because the man on the mark's about 55 for Hawthorn. McCabe. So he'll have to kick from at least, trying to crib inches, 60 metres at least. 45-degree angle. Clement. Normally a forward, or had been a forward. Have a look at this. Yes. And finishes. What a kick from James Clement. And 9-6-60 Collingwood. It's back out to 4 goals. 5-6-36 Hawthorn.
Well, you can't do much when a player kicks him from 60, 65 out. That kick's ended up over the fence, and well, to have a player in that position and kick the ball from that distance is sensational.
3-step.
You actually asked me before we kicked that whether he could make the distance or not, didn't you, Steve?
Well, I knew he was a big kick, but that was a huge kick, particularly a drop punt.
Adrian Fletcher in the box alongside Mickey Malthouse, who was hoping to be drafted at the start of this season.
Thompson still in the ruck, getting it down, but there's McGough getting another touch. Buckley. Nick Davis trying to work his way to the front.
Did well.
Did well.
Cloak. Chick, as always, ready to lay a tackle. Harford had a couple breaking. Rawlings. Crawford. He broke comfortably and delivered beautifully. Hay just had the prop, as it turned out in the end, and found it too difficult.
He did it well then, Prestigiano.
Mercuria able to break clear. His delivery this time is spot on through the middle. Burns. Mercuria had kept on running. Burns also. McGough. Off the left. Delivery not so good. Working hard. Half it off, half back. Wakeler. Here they go again, the Pies. Davis, good spoil. Lockyer. Almost a handball. Great tackle.
That was against Cox. He put the elbow straight into Chris Tarrant. Should have been against the Hawk, big man.
Actually, it was a good result, really, at the end for Collingwood, because they really didn't have numbers back in their forward 50, and to get a bounce down really on their 50 was a good result.
Ball outside 50 for the Pies. Chris Tarrant found himself unlucky. Reported early in the game. Has kicked 4 goals. Got his hand to it. McGough knocked up, getting it, running out in the mark. No, Cloak dropped it in the end. Rawlings there. Graham Hawks under pressure. Davis quick kick to a goal square. Joel Smith well shepherded. Back behind the ball. He'll take 2 the speedster.
Play down 2 Dates.
Off half back. So on that outer side, Lekas, all he can do is bomb into the air. Collingwood numbers, Rockhart's got it. At the moment, the run has ceased in the last 2 or 3 minutes from the Hawks out of defence. Rocker went to Clement into the pocket. Buckley, good use of the body.
Did it well.
Vandenberg eyes on Buckley. Buckley for the ball, and the man.
It's McCabe that's down.
McCabe's down.
He was the one that got injured in round 1. Remember, he did his shot. In fact, it's Crawford.
Well, he would be the last man that Trobby would like to lose.
He actually, I think he got collected a little bit head high. He came into Shepherd.
Well, Nathan Buckley, the desired kick will have to be a boomerang. The skipper looks like he is going for the trusty drop punt. Wrong side for a right footer. Is he good? Is he good? No. Well, pretty quiet behind the goals. He got close, but wasn't close enough. It's 9-7-61. Hawks 5-6-36.
2 behinds Nathan Buckley. Generally a very good kick.
I don't know if goal kicking is his forte, though. He tends to miss a few.
He does.
Rawlings kicks in. Thompson, the target. Will it get there?
Oh, well done.
Not really. Brody Holland's going to get a free for that.
And this is where the Pies have been very, very good, applying the pressure on the kick-ins, and certainly they've done it very well all day, and they've had the courage to back like Holland did here.
Well, they are playing as we went into the game. There's a hell of a lot of stake.
Brody Holland sets it up. Nick Davis couldn't get there that time. Was that a mark? A free kick. Hawthorn free. Going to Jade Rawlings. So we'll watch Crawford carefully, because he certainly didn't look too good, did he, when he got up? Copped a blow. Quick kick out wide. The run provided by Chance Bateman. He looks up.
Thompson is sitting at half back at the moment. Bateman will not use him.
Shepherd off the ball.
And it's going.
No. Hawthorn.
Didn't go over his mark.
he ran off the mark.
Quick kick, and that gets them moving. Pachoni hasn't had a big influence today.
Nick
7
Holland,
possessions.
Nick Holland lurking at centre-half forward.
So Holland maybe has gone back forward because he did spend some time in defence. Maybe he's just following his man down because Collingwood have got a lot of numbers back.
Too slow getting it in.
And this is exactly what Collingwood want. They actually had the forward 50 open for Hay, who's on the lead now.
And he's got it too.
He's got it.
It was a great kick, good strong lead.
He's offered 3 leads in that short space of time. Jonathan Hay.
Chicks down in the goal square. Crawford wanted it, but Hay sets it up into the hot spot. Lekasai Davis.
What a terrific mark.
Leon Davis. Great lead and mark up over the top. They had a good run up. 9-7 plays 5-6. We're midway through the third quarter at the MCG. And he's got a man who's broken loose. And it's Presta Giacomo pushing off Jonathan Hay to get some fluency, but he set Rocker up. Had good support though. Lucuria goes for Tarrant. Graham, free kick. Free kick to Tarrant. Hanging on to the jumper.
He's actually had a few free kicks, Chris Tarrant, but that's from playing in front. And he's got the rewards. Definitely holding. Did it well.
Chris Tarrant, who missed last week, came into today with 3 goals for, and he's been fantastic today. He's kicked 4 straight. And wanted the copy there with the behind. I think he kicked 1 out on the full as well. He made a blistering start to the day, kicking 4 on Joel Smith, and Josh Fraser getting some work done on him there. This time the Hawks have made a successful kick in.
Graham to wing and a little bit of time. Has to control the Lekas. Let him go. Had the time really, and the ball ending up behind him. It goes in long. Barker, use of the body. Was it early, premature? No. Clement towards the boundary. Didn't get there, Thompson. McKee right with him, and we have a boundary throw in. Hawthorn fans feeling Thompson could have ended up with it. It is 55 from their goal, the other side of the ground, going to the city end. And the freeze, Collingwood leading 11-10, so nothing in it there. Ball comes in, over the back. Joel Smith through the traffic, good. Barker to Chick. 1 step goes in long. They need a mark. Johnny Hayes been good. Loose ball. Holland did well. Lucuria through the traffic, over the top, into space. Lucuria now starting to share it. Under pressure is Loney. Numbers with the Pies. McKee into the middle. Burns. Real chance now. He steadies, goes in. Tarrant.
Great build-up, Dakes.
The work off half-back excellent.
And there was no panic when they had players. They looked like they were going to get tackled. There was no panic. Their hands were very good, very assured, unlike last week. And they ran the ball out of defence and were able to hit a leading forward.
Rarely is this man beaten. When the ball is put out in front, he's able to run 25-30 metres. Chris Tarrant will rarely be led to the ball.
And he's one of the quickest forwards in the league.
Marks inside 50, and one of the reasons is they have played an open forward line, have got it in pretty quick, but here's no better shot. They don't need to call this one. And far left, not even close for Chris Tarrant. So he's had 2 pings at him early in this third. He sits on 4 goals, Collingwood are 9, and they lead by 27 points.
Well, they've looked off the hook a little bit. 1-3 to 1 straight in this third quarter. Still they're hanging on though to a pretty comfortable lead. I'm sure they don't feel that comfortable though. Oh dear, this might make it better. Davis makes it pay, no! And as close as you could possibly get. It was an amazing weekend last weekend for posters.
Good signs for the Pies though. They're applying that pressure, they've maintained it. And I'm sure Mick Moldhouse would be delighted with that. Exactly what you've got to do when you're a little forward. Keep the ball alive.
I noticed Ben Dixon on the bench. Now, Ben Dixon does present himself an area that they're falling down his half forward, maybe play him up the ground more because they're having trouble running it in. So maybe get it out wide and get it to Dixon.
He's actually on the bench, Dakes, with Barker.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mark paid in the end.
Just like to see him pushed up the ground because he does present himself and he will run up the ground, and where they've lacked the run, they may have an option of just going direct into half forward.
Thompson the target. And
Just on that, Dixon 3 disposal, Barker 3 disposals.
Clement.
Spot on in what you were saying, Dakes.
Barker just hasn't been able to make an impact this year, has he? It's his third match. He's had 9 disposals for the year going in, and only another 3 today. Steinford's come on the ground. He missed the first half. He was on the bench. McKee switching. McGough been a bit quieter. Oh, Chick. You wouldn't really want him bearing down on you in your first game. Crawford. Pachoni. Nowhere to go. It was all vacant. Hay was set up.
Oh, well done. Super play by Lucuria. Prestigiu Como was actually caught up the ground, and he had the sacrificial running to be able to go back and cover Jonathan Hay, who isn't his direct opponent.
Didak using McKee, who is metres in the clear. Buckley telling him to keep running. So no one comes at him. So he does. Now he can use Buckley. He's going to have to get rid of this quickly. Loney.
Have a go.
Oh, streaming forward. Maybe took a bounce when he didn't need to. But the result was the important thing. Unfortunately, he missed.
You just sense, Dakes, they're leaving the door open, the Pies, aren't they? They've had the opportunity to probably put them away, and they just haven't been able to put the score on the board.
1 goal, 5 for the Pies in this third quarter, just under 18 minutes. Man on screen, Ryan Loney, 37 for the Pies. Really should have finished in the end. All the hard work was getting to a position of scoring. So Rawlings has it for the Hawks. At the moment, left bewildered because no options, just bombs it in long. Holland will jump, knocked away from him. Simon Cox, a big man. Too slow in the end. Buckley will go at goal. Goes at goal. And that could be it. That's the goal they were looking for. And in the end, able to reward his teammates for earlier work. They weren't able to put it on the scoreboard, but the skipper says it's done like this.
Super goal by Nathan Buckley. They've struggled to kick them in this third quarter, and that really will hurt the Hawks. And once again, Dakes on a kick out from the Hawks. The Pies have applied that pressure and ended up getting another goal.
10-11 to 5-6. Sean Wren back in the ruck. Can Hawthorn do something about it? Buckley out of the middle. He's kicked a very important goal, and he'll be desperate for his team to go on with it. And suddenly things will be looking a lot brighter for them. 2-2, a lot better than 1-3. And this Hawthorn side, who were lucky to get over the line last week against Fremantle. Last year they almost made the grand final. As Nick Davis hasn't had a big impact in this quarter, but he was good in the first half.
What you have to remember, though, it goes inside 50. There's not a reliance on just one player. It has been shared around. So Nick Davis has missed out in the last 5-10 minutes. His turn will come, as long as he's working.
And he's had 10 possessions and 5 marks for the day and kicked 1 goal too. Pachoni. Cox has come off his boot. Lekis trying to get onto it again. McKee done pretty well, big McKee, hasn't he, for the day?
He has. He's competed. He's had both Wren and also Thompson to compete within the ruck, and he's done exactly what the match committee, or Collingwood's match committee, would have hoped.
Well, they've had 17 hit-outs to 12, and McKee himself has had 13 possessions and 5 marks, so they'd be delighted with that, I'm sure. Wren trying to do something about it. Chick. Lekis trying to respond for the Hawks, trying to lift them, and he's done it with a scrappy goal. (6-6) to 10-11.
Yeah, good reply, really. Keeps them in the game. As we see McKee coming off the ground, and Josh Fraser also coming back on, but a nice late goal, or a good reply really by the Hawks, just to keep them amongst it.
And I apologise, it wasn't really scrappy, it was a terrific kick.
Well, I'm sure Peter Schwab wouldn't mind another 12 scrappy kicks like that, Hutto.
No, it was a terrific kick, Dax.
Well, they were able to work it well. I thought the bodying of Wren was good. He certainly put McKee out of business. It was Daniel Chick, third man up, to put it into an area that the Hawks were able to use. Rocker will slap it forward. Buckley will run onto it. Not able to straighten up. Left foot chips up. Brodie Holland out of position. Loose ball, open goal.
That hurts.
Davis, there is your reply.
That hurts.
So 2 goals to Nick Davis. Quiet for the early part, as Steve Silvani made mention, but just the goal they were looking for. Buckley out of the middle again, and Davis with eyes on the ball, able to finish.
It can deflate a team when you work so hard to get a goal, and then it goes back to the middle, and within 5 seconds, the opposition scores a goal. And certainly the effectiveness of getting the ball out of the middle certainly worked in Collingwood's favour on that occasion.
2 goals to Nick Davis. Tarrant 4.
11-11 to 6-6. Anthony Rocker in the ruck. McKee back on the bench having a rest. Wren his opponent. Harford, Buckley again. Didn't try and get rid of it, and he's been pinged. Just didn't want to, I guess, handball it wildly. He's not real happy with the decision. Pachoni looking to lay it off.
Hawthorn need to get this to within 4 goals to have any chance going into the last quarter.
Simon Cox. Jonathan Hay working really hard with leads further up the ground, but he's looking a bit frustrated. Crawford makes a lead away that Cox has left.
Barker may be the option because he is going against Didak, and Barker clearly with an advantage.
They've got a couple clear, and Crawford just letting Pachoni know that he had the clear run.
There's actually good patience there. The kicking to the 50. Didn't panic.
Both Crawford and Buckley with 24 possessions each for their teams. Shane Crawford. We saw Buckley kick a big goal before. Crawford trying to do the same thing, and I think he's done it. He has. Great effort. Second goal for Shane Crawford, and once again the Hawks just staying somewhere within reach.
Their super goal by Crawford, a goal they really did need to stay in this game, and he ended up kicking it from 50 metres out and from an acute angle, and really was a captain's goal.
So goal for goal in the last 5 minutes. The lead again has been cut back to 29 points. It's 24 at half time, so Collingwood have managed an extra 5 on that. So out of the middle, taking a bounce and taking him on Leon Davis. Left foot out wide. Brodie Holland, well done McCabe, right with him. Loose ball comes through. Bateman is gone. Good tackle in the end, Leon Davis, who followed that up, so he was the provider into the forward line, then followed it up. Good play, Leon Davis.
It was great play. Really, also McCabe. It was very good play by McCabe, but Leon Davis from the middle of the ground to also follow his kick and lay that tackle.
So they've been able to reply at every turn, the Collingwood, every time they've been challenged. Good feature, McCabe, loose ball, hands off Harford. Need one more, Hawks. He goes out. Lekas has to wait. Loney with him, does well, handle it. Slap forward by Pachoni. Freeborn back to Fraser. And good chip out. Steinfeld will mark. So Collingwood now a chance with 2 out on this wing. Leon Davis is a player with it. Waiting. Batheris running around inside 50. He decides to go backwards. And Didak will mark.
So lots of Hawk numbers in front, goes for the switch for the captain. In fact, even for Clement. Now driving it forward for the captain. Cloak. Rawlings. Oh, Cloak did well. He's going to get a free for it too, just for staying on top of the ball.
He did well on that occasion, Jason Cloak, and if there's a criticism, he does tend to go to ground too often, but he did well here sliding in. But possibly had the Hawthorn player have done his homework, he probably would have just sat behind him and allowed Cloak to go to the ground and then just fall on him.
A nice kick by Jason Cloak also. Josh Fraser ran very hard into the Collingwood forward 50 to receive a lovely pass by Jason Cloak.
Josh Fraser's kicked 2 goals so far this year.
Now, you know, I was talking about the best big man kick in the competition last week.
Yeah, who would you say it was?
This is the second best big man kick in the competition last week. Well, we were talking about after this kick.
He missed anyway, didn't he? Let's see if Josh Fraser can kick a goal. I don't know why you even opened your mouth for it.
Well, he's down to number 4 now after that.
11-12 to 7-6. Jonathan Hay on the bench. So we'll follow that up because that is the last thing they can afford.
He's had a bit of problem with his fitness, so maybe Peter Schwartz is trying to save a bit of his legs for this last quarter.
Brad Ottens was the man I was talking about last week. Cox out wide. Batheris, loose ball. Brodie Holland, Batheris over the top. Buckley will kick towards goal. Unlucky bounce. Tarrant push. Loose ball. Davis misses. Hit the post, I think. He did. It has been all Collingwood in this third quarter. All the Pies.
6 goals, 7. Sorry,
3-7.
3-7 they've kicked Dates.
11-13, 79 to 7-6, 48 Hawthorn.
So Graham takes it and runs. Crawford, the target on the wing. Steinford tracking him and beats him. Rocker, Vandenberg. Crawford gets it anyway. Harford trying to give them something off the wing. Better watch out. Buckley, great tackle, caused the turnover. There's another one. Through the middle, Wakeland. Mercurian. Tarrant. Long way from home. Davis back on Cox.
Couldn't keep up with him, Graham.
Gets it in there. Steinford with a run. Barker, a long way from home. In unfamiliar territory, takes a good grab. 11-13 to 7-6. Collingwood leading by 31. Hawthorn last year almost made the grand final. They've started this year in pretty ordinary style. And unless they do something remarkable from here, it's going to be Hawthorn that are going to be the focus of all the speculation and all the talk during the week. That's just the way it is at the moment in AFL footy. Big kick from Rawlings. Lekas waits down. Didak, who's done a few nice things for the Pies, gets it in quick. Rocker against Barker, so Barker, Rocker's opponent now by the look of things. Graham under pressure, they've been under a lot of pressure today. Davis, no free kick.
Oh, didn't have it in the end, lucky. He actually motioned, he went down as if he were going to pick up this football, so he did it well. Sauce in the end.
Yeah, a little live wire. Creates opportunities from nothing, really.
Bonus in football, and they've been lucky around goal with Tarrant ending up on the end of a couple early in the game.
And checkers Buckley.
Buckley with 25 possessions on top of the rankings. Crawford also 25 possessions. Now Leon Davis gets a chance. This one's online. He's shown him how to do it. They've had 11 scoring shots to 3 in the corner. And Leon Davis started on the ground for probably one of the first times in his career today and is rewarding his coach. 1 goal 1.
As I said, a real live wire up forward. Probably the question mark is a little bit is his fitness and maybe his defensive game Dates, but the way he's played today created a number of opportunities for the Pies up forward, and his improvement in today's game would delight the Collingwood coach.
I'm just happy to see him start the game. Leon Davis, certainly for the majority of the season, I suppose only 4 games old as of today, has started on the bench. Good to see him start. Lucuria pies into attack. Davis got it.
That's his 6th mark, Dates.
So 55 from goal, the little man. Certainly too far out as Cloak running into position into a pocket. Davis maybe waiting for a couple of his teammates to sit back as Tarrant leads. No one back home in the goal square. Josh Fraser will run back into the square. Davis still holding on to it, so 31 just overpaid in this third quarter. Goes in short, good kick and free ball to mark. Right on the three-quarter time siren.
And really the result that Collingwood wanted, just to try and get the ball inside 50, so someone has got that shot on goal who can actually make the distance. And Leon Davis actually had the poise and the patience to do that, just to hold onto the ball.
Freeborn, not a bad kick at goal. Started his career with the Roos as a forward, and since being at Collingwood has spent a lot of time in defence, a running player. This one right on the siren and a goal will make it awfully hard, if not near impossible, for the Hawks going into the last quarter, because at the moment it is a 37-point lead. What will it be? Glenn Freeborn misses and on the full, so he's missed everything. So right on the three-quarter time siren, it's a 37-point lead. Collingwood enjoyed 12-13-85. The Hawks 7-6-48, and Pies in control, well in control.
Last quarter from the MCG. Can the Hawks dig deep and provide something for their fans in the last term? Their captain Crawford against his opposite number is going to get a free kick to start proceedings. He still looks a little bit groggy, Shane Crawford. Copped a big blow in the third quarter. He's limping.
Been a very good player. Excellent player for the Hawks.
We saw how quickly Hawthorn can score on that match on the round one on the Easter Monday, so maybe they could get something flowing. They could get back into it, but it's going to be hard to see. Mercuria has been really busy and terrific for them. Steinfort, Cox. Leon Davis gives away the free. Crawford still back in the middle of the ground, trying to overcome a limp. Parker charging through. Here's Dixon for his second goal of the day. It's close. It's pretty good. He likes it. It's a goal. So a bright start for Ben Dixon and Hawthorn in this last quarter.
Well, the start they really wanted to kick the first goal of this last quarter. They really did need to do that. And Ben Dixon, we know what a lovely kick he is on his left foot. Gave him that first goal, and they really need a big quarter out of him.
So they still trail by 31, but promising start from the Hawks. The Chonies in the middle, Lekos is there. Thompson will contest it with Crawford forward of the ball here. And Pies, one of the features of their game has been their ability to reply to everything Hawthorn have thrown at them. Rocker and Thompson down to Pachoni, well smothered in the end, off the ground Rocker. Collingwood just out of the square and into attack. Holland, body behind the ball, but Theris. Loose one to Lekos, didn't control it in the end. Thrown away by Holland. Cox to McCabe. Really does need to find someone. Simon Cox had a bit of the ball. Bombs in long. Wasn't a great kick. Still inside 50. Half forward. Now out of danger. Good kick, Clement. Out in front of Fraser. Has to take it. Under pressure. Over the head of Bateman to the running Leon Davis. Now a real chance for Steinfort if it sits up for him. Probably waited too long. Cox will confront him. He'll go into a pocket. Nick Davis and Smith, and Joel Smith did it well for the Hawks back there.
Got a couple of options through the middle. Pachoni was the target. Dangerous!
Oh. Well, what do you say about that? They have to be inch perfect going into the middle. It's 40 from Collingwood's goal.
It's amazing what a week does in footy dates. The same thing happened to Collingwood last week. I think it was young Kinnear who had a similar type kick.
And Licuria.
And, well, this week they're going to benefit from a kick from Joel Smith.
Anthony Rocker, 1 goal, 1. And speak of Licuria, he's had 18 possessions and he's used them pretty well today, Dax.
Yeah, he's been good.
So here's Rocker. This to make the task very, very, very difficult for Hawthorn. Rocker does the job. $13.91. Plays 8.6.54 at the MCG, margin 37.
And in saying what I was just telling you about how the wheel turns in a week, it's come from the Collingwood pressure. There's no question that they've been the hunter today, and they've gone out there and applied the pressure to the Hawks that have forced them to do errors like Joel Smith's kick.
So Collingwood have all the answers at the moment. Every time the Hawks have been or managed to kick a goal or a score, Collingwood have come back and taken the ball up the other end to score. Anthony Rocker was the man. 2 goals to him. He's in the middle of the ground now. Thompson, only one that jumped for it, will go inside 50. Chick underneath it. Lakeland in the end. Chick took it and just fumbled it out. Barker in the end wrapped up. He's had a hard day. Harford's there. I'll tell you what, there's not too many other Hawthorn players at the moment that can hold their head up because they have been well beaten. Holland just sharing it to Licuria, who's been good. Didak to the boundary. Will it get there? It does now.
It was well done by Didak. Under pressure, all he had to do was get it to the boundary line. And we see Prestigiacomo there, who's trying to run Jonathan Hay out of that back 50.
Rocker will thump it on. It's actually a Shepherd. Will go to Hawthorn. So Thompson actually was taken off the ball. And it may have been one of the other Collingwood players. I think Anthony Rocker had eyes only for the ball. As I was saying earlier, Hawthorn, certainly too many of their better players down. No chance. Inside 50. Leon Davis. Dixon collide. Clement wrapping up Dixon. And boy, when you talk about commitment, there are not too many players that have strayed past that for the Pies. They've all put themselves on the line. Leon Davis once more. It's not the only first time that he's done that.
Well done by both players there, though. To Dixon and Davis.
Leon Davis looks a bit worse for wear off the pack.
Well, certainly Dixon had the advantage physically. Barker, quick kick, Harford. Oh, it's slapped away by Tarkin Lockdown. And 10 metres around from that Hawthorn goal, the punt road end, we have a boundary throw-in.
Well, the questions are going to be asked about Hawthorn this week. We'll start asking them shortly. 48,500. Crawford and Buckley neck and neck in the player rankings. Crawford trying to lift, but he doesn't look 100% fit to me. He's still struggling after he copped a blow to the head earlier, and I think he hurt his ankle at the centre bounce when he got a free kick at the start of this quarter. But certainly Nathan Buckley powering on this. Shane Crawford is about 40 metres off the play. Steinford trying to get it clear. Fraser, crunch. Harford trying hard, but behind the result of it all. What's been the main deficiency for Hawthorn today, do you think?
Well, I just think they've had a number of players that are down. I mean, they're running players like Vandenberg, Green and Smith really haven't had too many touches between them, and that's where Hawthorn generally hurt opposition sides. They're running players, they run the ball through the middle, and Collingwood haven't allowed that today.
I think their urgency as well. I think Collingwood have put themselves in and made that front position their very own, and for a team with their back to the wall, Collingwood have been very good in that area. Licuria, forward of half-back towards wing, took a bounce, trying to run him down was Vandenberg. Into attack we go, Crawford, and this guy has put his hand up.
Super game.
And that might be another area. I mean, leadership of the Hawks as well. I mean, this guy certainly put his hand up, and it certainly starts falling away after that. Thompson, good kick. Hay, too early, no. He just hovered and took it beautifully. Still 55 from goal. The lead is 36. 8 minutes into this last quarter, just under. Still plenty of time, as they say. Hay will just bomb it in long. Chick setting himself and knocked through beautifully by Anthony Rocker. So
he's coming off, Hay.
They may lead comfortably, but they are giving nothing away, the Pies.
You have a look at Hay and also Johnny Barker. Just, I reckon, turn the clock back 12 months ago, you would have had a Barker presenting on that occasion. I just think he's that underdone that he just can't get his running game into motion, and that's one of his real strengths, Johnny Barker, is his fitness and his running game.
Freeborn takes it. Hay hasn't come off yet, but Rawlings ready to come back on, and so that'll happen shortly, you would think. Freeborn looking for Buckley. He's being manned up at the moment. Rocker is up on the wing for him, and so is Clement. Can go over the top if he wants for Curia, who has been terrific today off half-back. Never seems to have anyone on him. Sometimes his kicking's not great. Tarrant. Didak in support. Harford. Free kick for holding on.
He's been good, Tarrant. He's presented all day, and he's continuing to do so in this last quarter.
Let's get back to Christy Malthouse.
Anthony, Jonathan Hay is just about to come off the ground. Jake Rawlings will go on for him. He is really struggling. He can hardly even run off as he comes off now.
Thompson with a chance. It was play on. I think it was called play on. He wanted to move at Rees. Trying to link out wide. Get some run from Cox. And now Graham. Chick. One out with Steinford. Well done, Chick. Gives himself the chance. Can he finish off his good work? Went very close, but again, another poster.
Not much going right, but obviously when they do get that run through the middle of the ground, they do look dangerous. If they can only get 2 quick goals, they're still within a chance of winning this game.
The curious kick out wide, Steinford, so they keep the same line, coming around Members' side of the ground. Clyde presenting himself true wing. Cox, good use of the body, and I think it was Clyde's fist in the end after he gave away that important front position, so he did well to get his hand to it. Boundary throw in. Just over 10 minutes into this last quarter, it's a 34-point lead the Pies enjoy. Clyde to do the ruck work. Huge bonus, will become a huge bonus for the Pies in years to come, this kid. So Jason Cloak hands off to Licuria, another good player. Inside, great kick, Tarrant.
He's led from the wing, really. Licuria had the ball on the wing, and he just knew that the ball was going to come at some stage. And that was a 40-metre lead out of the goal square. Terrific kick by Licuria.
So Paul, Licuria, red alert in the first 10 minutes of this last quarter, has knocked up getting the ball. Tarrant, 4 goals, 3 in that first quarter. Chance for 5. He's had a little bit of the ball. That's how he's won it, more importantly. Presented himself beautifully. Goal number 5. That'll finish it off. Paul Licuria being congratulated, and why not? He's been terrific in midfield. Tarrant finishing off up forward, and Collingwood now have a 40-point lead.
Well, we're all pretty happy out there, Dukes, the Pies. They've certainly worked hard for each other, and they've got the rewards that they've been hoping for at the start of this game. Terrific goal.
Well, Tarrant, what a game he's played today for the Pies. But I guess the question, what's left in this game for Hawthorn? What can Peter Swab get out of this last quarter?
Well, I think he'd be looking for character from his players.
Exactly, and there are a number out there today that put in poor performances, but they've just got to build in this last 15 minutes of this game to get themselves ready for next week.
Thompson and McKee. Lockyer. Under a fair bit of pressure from Chick. Davis. Lockyer again. Buckley. Didak off his wrong boot, but he guided it nicely. Fraser.
Just so important they finish the game off Hawthorn. They were unprepared. They've had an interrupted pre-season, and a lot of their players are underdone, and it's important because of that reason that they do finish this game off. I mean, we still have 18 rounds for the season.
Lockyer coming off the ground, looks like he's twisted an ankle.
Legas going very wide, sorry Dax. Holland takes the mark. He's been forward and back today, Nick Holland, but hasn't had a massive impact on the game. Graham's kick to the wing, well judged. Simon Cox, who's had 14 possessions, taken 9 marks.
It's where they're falling down, really. the Hawks, when they're full of confidence, move the ball so well. Collingwood have done it well all day, just holding the Hawks up and made it very difficult for them to find it forward.
Dixon trying hard. There's Lucuria again, and Buckley. Those two combining beautifully. Burns on the way out. It opens up on this side of the ground for Brody Holland. Nick Davis called for it. Holland was going to take them on, but he was being charged down. Delivery not bad. McCabe, Rocker, out to Nick Davis again. Throw. Here's the decision.
Definitely scooped that up, Anthony Rocker.
So Graham kicking to the space. Piccioni takes the mark. 14-13 to 8-9. Daniel Chick. Loney on him at this stage. In fact, Prestigiacomo out of bounds.
Good pressure from Prestigiacomo. Just kept the body on the inside of the line. Stopped Chick from trying to straighten up and keep that ball in, so he did beautifully.
How have you assessed Chick's game today, Dax?
Well, I just don't. I mean, his greatest strength is his ability to push the ball forward and run in a straight line. I just think he's been like a lot of the Hawthorn players, pretty much out wide, and a lot of the space has been broken down. So
he really hasn't had too much support either, Dax.
Not in that boat at the moment. It'll be a full bus for Hawthorn in that area. So Barker down, sucked it down. Roos was a target. Didak off the ground. As good as a kick as they say. Into half forward. Rawlings has to go back to Holland. Misses him completely. And over the line. So it's Anthony Rocker on Rawlings.
He did well there, Anthony Rocker.
Yeah.
All he didn't have to do was just hold the ball up, give him another chance.
And they've done that, soft, because the ball now 60 from goal. Goals from March, not surprising. Collingwood 8-3. Open forward line, they've got it in quickly. Crawford, the best Hawk. Out wide, chipped it up in the end. Piccioni, no, Holland or Mark, so there was a protection from Piccioni that helped also. So Nick Holland has had a quiet afternoon. Collingwood lead by 40. 15 and a half minutes last quarter. Holland drives in long. McKee sets himself. Bethera's spoiled him in the end. And second bite, I don't think he was too keen to let that ball get out into the open. So he did well just to hold it up. And we have a ball up this time just forward of that wing.
They've just got a few too many players underdone the Hawks. You look at Johnny Barker, Jonathan Hay, and also Holland.
Anthony Rocker, who was just on screen, he's contested well. His first 4 games good, as Betheris looks like he may be coming off. Scotland pretty anxious to get onto the ground, fresh legs. That move has been made. Ruby Betheris hasn't been bad. Certainly puts himself in. Marking a feature of his game. Fraser down, Didak into half forward. Cloak against 2 did well. And then goes in again, so did well at Brody Holland. He's been quiet. Bateman slipped, and then Rawlings by hand concedes to McCabe. Into the middle, Vandenberg to the running Rawlings. So they're trying to finish the game off. Barker with some rare space in short, and Thompson the target to mark.
Gee, that didn't look too good either for Thompson. They're going down all over the place, Hawthorn. Bateman looks like that might be a bit of a groin problem. He's coming off. They're nasty.
Anthony Rocker in there again. Yeah, he looks like he has some leg damage there. Holding the thigh area, groin. Nathan Thompson has won. They've been in there trying. Dixon gives a lead out of the square. Thompson will go to the middle. It'll drop short, well short in the end. And Scotland sitting back there for an absolute birthday present.
Didak, hasn't he been good today since he's been on the ground? He's had 13 possessions, Didak. And there's McGough, who hasn't done as much in the second half as he did in the first, but 16 possessions, a good day's work in your debut. Tough for Rocker back there. Big Sean Wren, who came on the ground under pressure from Cloak. The young man did well. Rocker has had an excellent day. Tarrant couldn't take it. Joel Smith's had a horrible day. And the ball through from behind.
It's a tight kick from Anthony Rocker, and he can certainly be excused on that last occasion because he has put in a big game. He's worked pretty hard, put the body in, and has certainly worn himself down. McCabe over the top. Harford will take a bounce, has a little bit of time, but Out wide again with that ball. Ball smothered beautifully by Scotland. Prestigie came over to Makita Burns in the middle, over the top. So sharing it, Licuria has players in support. Vandenberg nearly ran him down.
Good
Beautiful
vision.
kick. Holland. So he's starting to get a couple of touches. Been starved. Burns. Harford has a sit. Will knock it away. Loose ball. Cox will contest against Scotland. Scotland again puts himself in. Wrapped up. And we have a ball up inside 50 for the Pies.
A couple of good efforts by Scotland. Dakes, the smother, and just then to get his head over the ball and just lock it in Collingwood's forward 50.
And that's what it's all about. It's about getting another bite at it.
Rocky with ice on his ankle.
Rupert Betheris in the background there, who has been good. Pachoni over top. Cox. Back to Joel Smith. Backpedaling to give himself a little bit of time. And he's on the fall. And there is your Hawthorn afternoon. Clearly in that kick with Joel Smith. Had no movement up the ground. He was hemmed in by not one, two Collingwood players. Forced error.
And I hate to say it again, Dakes, that comes from pressure. Not having the option to be able to lay the ball off. But it's good manning up by the Collingwood players.
So Scotty Burns, too far out to score. Buckley leading down into the 50, but he gets another option, and that's Davis, Nick Davis. Kicked 2 goals, 3 for the afternoon.
He's done very well, Nick, when you consider the pressure coming into this game, the amount of pressure that was on this young kid. He really, really did set Collingwood up early in that game, along with his skipper, Nathan Buckley.
And I'm sure all he wants to do, Dakes, is play footy.
Oh, no doubt, Sos.
12 possessions, 2 goals, 3. And we know he can convert some nice long goals at times, so he thinks he can do this, and he sets it up, gives his team a chance. Lekas, Graham, Rees under pressure. He's another one in his first game. Rawlings, Holland.
Leon Davis off the ground, Carl Steinford onto the ground.
Lekas, great spoil from Wakeland. Buckley. Tarrant. Buckley wants it back, but Tarrant got a call from Brodie Holland. Well wrapped up. And the Hawks trying to hold it up.
Oh, McCabe. Could have been a threat to Jason Cloak there. McCabe going in. There was no need for that. That ball had been wrapped up, and that's, in the end, he was lucky to get out of this. Just have a look at this one again. Holland playing for the free.
He's done
Goes
that quite
down.
a bit, Dakes.
And watch McCabe here. Now, this ball going nowhere. Not happy with that, no?
No, didn't see anything wrong there. 14-14 to 8-9. McGough for his second. Celebrate this time.
Here we go.
Two goals to young Mark McGough. He came in as a late change. And I think Mick Moldhouse couldn't believe his luck. 18 possessions, 2 goals, 2. Collingwood 15-14 to 8-9.
I wonder if this one just scraped in. He did well to read, and as you see, you called it earlier, Sauce. He is a ball magnet.
He is.
You don't have to be the prettiest footballer. The key to any game of football is being able to win possession of the ball. And Mark McGough, one of the better debuts that we've seen for a while. Certainly knocked up getting the ball. 2 goals to the youngster as well. Fine performance out of the middle. Collingwood finishing the game off. Here's McGough right now. No free. Harford, Pachoni into the pocket. Out in front of Thompson. Has to be good here to get away from Prestigie Como, who hemmed him in and used the boundary as his ally. It's Thompson.
They're cramping, aren't they, the Hawks?
The thing has to be asked about Hawthorn now is just the amount of work that has been done through pre-season. Their results have shown that they haven't been able to keep up. Players cramping, as you made mention. Players underdone. And the results really, their season probably will fall over in the next couple of weeks without a win. Collingwood in that corridor. Crawford over the top. He's been their best. Wren slick. Out to Lekas, towards goal, and bounces into an unguarded goal. Lekas has 2. They have 9. And Collingwood still lead by 31. It's 104 the Pies, 63 to the Hawks.
Well, they've had to work hard for that one. Once again, Shane Crawford instrumental in setting up this goal. And young Angelo Lekas has also played a reasonable game, Doug, so I think he's been committed for the 4 quarters.
So 15-14 to 9-9. Hawthorn getting their second goal for the last quarter, 2-3. Collingwood kicked 3-1. And the Pies leading by 41. Fraser getting a run in the ruck at the moment. Chick still working hard. McGough and Buckley wrapping him up. Now, if you remember last year, when you look at Hawthorn from last year, we know they almost made the grand final, but they won their first 8, and from then on they really struggled. They only won another 5 for the rest of the year, from between rounds 9 and 22, and then of course they got it all together in the finals. They won terrifically against Port Adelaide and had another winner. They almost got over the line against Essendon. So really it wasn't a great year, but at the right times they were up and going. Chick getting it in there. McKee, Mercuria, Scotland. Buckley calling for it at half forward, but he goes wider than that. Cloak had a couple of beaten, it's out of bounds.
Hutto, early in the year, there was a lot of criticisms about giving Trent Croad up for a draft choice. One of the reasons was because they lacked the speed in midfield. Genuinely, they're a slow team in midfield. And last year, early in the year, when they were winning a few games, 400 possessions, 350 possessions, overusing the ball, still getting over the line. They genuinely are wide, they're short, and really slow out of midfield. Crawford is really their hardest runner, but again, he's very wide.
Joel Smith going for a stroll through the middle.
This is where they want to be.
Haven't seen much of this today, and unfortunately, that's how it ended. Crawford out wide for Green. So much fumbling today for the Hawks. Pachoni going wide. Dixon, and it's over the line.
You hit it on the head. Their skill level has let them down. Their first bite at the ball, their second bite normally they would have to have been had to be bending down to pick up that ball because they haven't used it cleanly. They're inside 50 at the moment as this game starting to wind down. Comes down Brody Holland, well smothered in the end. They'll get out of danger. Pessagee, Como to Burns over the top to running Wakeland. Can go over the top to Fraser. He drew Renton nicely and then handballs out in front of the big man. Vandenberg in pursuit, so he's just behind him. He'll go towards a boundary and did it well, the big man, in the end. No need to keep that in. We have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward, just favouring the Hawks, members side of the ground.
Let's get to Christy Malthouse for an injury update.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, there's a lot of players on the bench getting injuries checked at the moment. Tarkin Lockyer is down with ice on his ankle. Leon Davis is having his thigh worked on for cramp. Hawthorn Nathan Thompson is getting calves worked on for cramp. And Jonathan Hay as well. And Chris Barlow, of course, on the bench with his tracky top on. He hasn't been on all half.
So scrappy at the moment. The Curia puts the body in again. Brody Holland took it, and he's starting a few touches in the latter part of this game. It's been down a little bit. McCabe, the man that had the job on Vandenberg looking for the boundary. McCabe slides in, then goes by hand towards a boundary. Burns and Davis making sure it goes over the line, giving the players a well-earned breather after that little bit of scrimmage.
Josh Fraser just coming off the ground for Anthony Rocket. Just looks like he got a caught to his hip.
Ball to come in. Just under 28 minutes last quarter. Pie season looking a little bit better now. 2 out of 4 games. Still a fair way to go, but the momentum may have started in this one. This game, that is. Ball out wide, and McGough to have another kick.
Well, we saw him in the top 10 in the rankings, which is a great effort. Buckley waits behind Tarrant, and slipping in there was Rawlings. Quick to move. Oh, and there's another one.
And there's another player, Rawlings, who has had another interrupted season.
Yeah, and I think that's been their problem, Stakes. You can probably take 1 or 2 underdone players, but when you're taking 4 and 5, it certainly affects your flexibility in your team and your team's confidence because they just can't run the game out.
I think Jason Cloke's cramps are due to workload, and possibly a few of the Hawks players is due to under preparation.
7 possessions for Jason Cloke today, 2 marks.
Spent the whole entire game on the ground, so getting valuable game time. Good experience for him.
See if he can cap it off with a goal. It's going to go close. Not quite close enough. Sean Wren looking for his youngster in green. Freeborn, Crawford. Well, Rees just getting accustomed to the pace of senior AFL footy. So 29.5 minutes gone in the last quarter, and Collingwood responding to all the criticism and all the drama during the week. Coming out, kicked 5 goals to 0 in the first quarter. Hawthorn were able to edge back a little bit in the second, but it's been all the Pies for most of the day. They kicked 4 goals 7 to 3 goals in the third quarter and have finished well, 3 goals to 2, leading by 41 as we count down to the end of the game. Here's Chick. Mercury has been magnificent today. Prestigiacomo goes for Buckley. Mark not paid. And
He did well to get to the line. Well, that's how I feel as well. I bet you there's a few other Hawthorn supporters feeling that way at the moment. She was probably better off sitting at home, sauce on the couch and having a bit of a snooze.
Well, she's supporting her team, Dakes.
Yeah.
Not with much enthusiasm.
You know, she fell asleep 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Well, we shouldn't joke about it. I suppose on the positive side for Mick Malthouse and his boys, it is 41 points at the moment, 31, just under 31 minutes. They're back. At the moment, the Pies certainly some good form. Into half forward, sitting back Wakeland, who's been good. Paid in the end. Into the middle. Brodie Holland has had a bit of the ball. Hands off to McGough. Into half forward. Nick Davis just trying to knock the Hawks off the ball as the siren goes. It's ended up a 41-point victory to the Pies. After a terrific 5-goal start, they led at the first break by 29, and in the end ran out victors by 41. It's 15-14, 104 Collingwood. The Hawks 99-63.
Some great signs by the Pies. They really did play 4 quarters. On Mick Malthouse 600th game as a coach and player, and they've really rewarded him with a magnificent win under conditions where the pressure was on them before the start of the game. Some youngsters got some valuable time for the Pies also. Young McGough's debut was sensational.
He's been the talk of the town. Here's Nick Davis.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, Nick, what a way to put media scrutiny aside for a day and a great win.
Yeah, exactly right. That's all I could do is just come out here and perform and let everyone else worry about what they want to worry about. So I just worried about my performance and it turned out well today.
2 goals for you, just playing yourself back into form.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I could come out and do is just try my best. That's what I've been doing. It hasn't been coming off, but today it worked and it's good to keep going now and not look back.
All right, great. Well, great work and go and celebrate. Anthony.
Thanks, Christy.